Hey guys, this is Rejects Rewind, and my name is Caleb. I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Moises. I go by Moy, and it's our first episode. So if it's sounds bad or whatever, like cut us some slack. But we're just here to talk. Here to talk rejects.
Yeah, bear with us, guys, but my fan account is When We Were Kids in the Street on Instagram. I go by Gonzo on the Discord, and my friend here, he has a fan account as well.
Yeah. So my fan account is it's a bit of a mouthful, as you said. It is the Rejects Now More Than Ever fan page, or FP. Sorry. Had to show some love for Now More Than Ever as well. Name is subject to change, but that is my fan account for the All American Rejects mainly. And on the AAR Discord, I go by Moy Mows My Lawn, and I won't explain that name. But I go by Moy, so let's just leave it at Moy.
And this guy's a big fan. We will get into it a lot in this podcast, but he is a newer fan. I wouldn't say new, but you're a newer fan, And I'm an old fan, but we're going to get into this podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to Moy. Tell me how you got into AAR. How'd you get into the Rejects?
Yeah, so like you said, kind of a late bloomer in terms of becoming a fan of this band. And I will probably go on a tangent right now, so if you want to throw anything in at any point, feel free to cut me off if you feel like I'm talking too long. But yeah, so the first time I heard any Reject song ever was actually in a Bionicles commercial, Lego Bionicles, for anyone who remembers those. They were like these Lego toys. I don't know, you build them or whatever and you fight with them. But I love Bionicles, but what I didn't know is that they would start my love for this band. So I heard the song Move Along in the Bionicles commercial, and it just sounded really catchy. I was like, move along, move along. I was like, okay, I dig this song. And I was 6 years old when that came out. So as you can see, it totally stuck with me. But that was my first real introduction to them. I then heard Move Along on Kids Bop 10 in a commercial also. Thank you, Kids Bop, for that and for nothing else. So I heard Move Along again, and little me is thinking, like, there's that Move Along song again. I really like it. But it was just that. I just kind of thought about it, and the words Move Along kind of played in my head for the next couple of years, but I never really gave much thought to it until a couple of years later. We fast forward to the When the World Comes Down era, and I heard Gives You Hell on the radio for the first time. I think I was like 9 years old at this point. And the song Gives You Hell is playing on the radio. It was very catchy. And I didn't even know what it was saying at first. I couldn't make out the words, but it was just catchy, just like Move Along. And from there, now both of these two songs are kind of like ingrained in my subconscious. And eventually I'd say I turned like 13, and that was when I first kind of started like using YouTube, I guess. And one day it just came on to me. I was like, you know what? Let me like look up this Move Along song. Like I remember it from when I was a kid. Let me just look it up and see like who actually sings that song. So I listened to Move Along. I saw the music video. Awesome music video, which I'm pretty sure won a VMA, right?
Yeah, one of the best. I think it won Best Group Video.
Yeah. Well deserved. Awesome music video.
Over the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco.
Yep. So, they call them Rejects, but look who they beat for that award. So, yeah. So clearly I made a good choice in my favorite band there. So I heard Move Along for the first time, like for real in a music video. I saw the music video. Then after a couple clicks later, I realized that unbeknownst to me, the same band who created Move Along also sang Gives You Hell. And that, my like 13-year-old brain exploded. I was like, no way. These two songs that I like listened to in my childhood on the radio or on TV like are now in front of me on YouTube. So after that, I started like watching all of their music videos, and that's when I discovered the rest of their music videos. And funny enough, like the third or fourth song of theirs that I listened to was literally Some Days Gone. I don't think there's any, yeah, awesome song. I don't think there's any other fan of this band that can say, yeah, the third song I listened to from this band is Some Days Gone, because obviously most people discovered them in the early 2000s. Yeah. So as like a late fan, you know, Some Days Gone was there. It was 2013. It just came out in 2012, and awesome music video too. And I think that was what really kind of made me just start loving this band. I definitely fell in love with their music videos. They were very like unique and stuff. And from there, since obviously everything had already come out at that point, most of their stuff had already come out. From there, I kind of just started listening to everything that was out there, and like it was a couple at a time. I don't remember the first couple ones that I would listen to, but a lot of them were the Kids in the Streets one, which is weird because, like I said, like I don't think anyone who got into this band, like their first introduction to them was Kids in the Street. Yeah. And I think that's why that album holds a special place in my heart. But that's pretty much the basis for how I got into them. That was kind of a lot, but why don't you tell us how you got into the Rejects, Caleb?
I love that a lot, Moy, and you said a lot there, but it was really good.
Thanks.
I do love that you connected the music videos, because I think that the Rejects, they make really good music videos. Like,
yeah.
I think that like Dirty Little Secret music video maybe didn't have a lot in it, but like you got Move Along, Gives You Hell, they all have stories. And then you go from there and you got Sweat, you got Send Her to Heaven, like and There's a Place, even like they're doing stories in their music video, and it's different, man.
Yeah. They're full storylines in their music videos, which is awesome. It's like you think the song is about something, and then you watch the music video, and it's something so maybe completely different from what you thought, but it just adds so much more to the song.
Exactly. And I do love that. I think that it's funny and ironic in a kind of little bit of a way that you were a fan later and I was a fan like early. I'll tell my story, but it's funny that both our favorite albums are Kids in the Street.
Yeah. It's just like underrated, man. Underrated. I think that album is just it feels nostalgic to me, which is weird because it was the first one I listened to, but I think just the vibes that it gives off are
that's what they were going for.
You think of when you were a kid in the street and you can relate to all those songs. Just so sad because I feel like so many people didn't listen to it, but if they did, like you can relate. Even the music videos, they tell these stories that you can relate to. So I think that's part of the reason why I love that album.
I think it's sad that was their last album, but I also think if that was, we'll get into this later, guys, in the podcast. If that was their last podcast, though, amazing album. Album. Yeah, that was an amazing album. But I will go ahead and tell just a little bit how I got into All American Rejects, because my guy Moy, he told all about it. So
your turn, bro. And go off on a tangent if you want, bro. Like,
and I will, because I got into them really early in my life. I was young, and as I told Moy earlier, I think it was around 2005 or 2006, probably when Move Along, the album, was coming out. And I was actually in school one day, and my friend said, "Have you heard that song Dirty Little Secret?" And I said, "No." "What is it?" He said, "Dude, it's good." He started singing the lyrics to me. I'm like, okay. So I go home, and I'm on my ride home with my mom because she picks me up from school, and Dirty Little Secret plays on the radio, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good song. And as I told Moy earlier, I didn't necessarily like connect with the band. I just knew that was a good song. And I don't even really remember hearing Move Along, or I did hear it in Snipe, but I'll tell that here in a second. Because I want to actually clarify, I actually had a video game. It was some kind of baseball game, 2003, and Swing Swing was on the game. So I heard Swing Swing. I was aware of it, and I don't think I bought it in 2003 because I was way too young to be playing video games. But at some point, I bought it, probably like 2006 or something. Played the game. Swing Swing was on it. The playlist on video games back in the day used to be really good. Let's just be honest, you know.
Dude, you are so right about that. Need to interject real quick, but yes, you are so right.
They are. Tony Hawk, Madden, all those playlists were like this kind of music. So, eventually, I guess it was like 2009, which Gives You Hell, and When the World Comes Down came out in 2008, but around 2009, I just really, it stuck with me. It wasn't even necessarily Gives You Hell. It was just like I got that album and it just stuck with me. And like I've said already, my favorite album is Kids in the Street. But for a long time, it was When the World Comes Down. It's just such a vibe. I think we probably both agree. Probably everybody listening to this agrees. But it's just like from I Wanna to The Wind Blows, or even if you want to go further to Sunshine, that whole album is a vibe. Like a lot of people will say the back half died off, but I disagree. I think that
I disagree heavily.
Yeah, Breakin', Back to You, Back to Me,
Back to Me, yep,
and all those songs are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I actually think I prefer the back half of that album.
I think I would take the back half if you're gonna split it from Mona Lisa's the last song of the first half, and Breakin's the first song of the back half. Yeah, I think I would agree.
I'm also a sucker for the deep cuts, though, so I think I'm a little biased.
Well, I think we both are suckers for the deep cuts from what I've saw, but like,
yeah,
because like I don't know, like Breakin' and Back to Me are two of my favorite songs. I would say, and we've talked about it a lot, and we'll get into that more, of course.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm saying my top 5 songs, I think most of them are on When the World Comes Down or Kids in the Street. Really good albums, man.
Yep, dude. I would think those are also my 2 favorite albums, and it's funny that we're talking about the deep cuts and it's weird because I know I said earlier how like 2 of their biggest mainstream songs are what got me into them.
Yeah.
But like Move Along Gives You Hell. But I think as I've listened to them more, I almost like don't even like the huge hits anymore. It's not that I don't like them. It's like I don't listen to them as much. I guess because part of me thinks like, like they're mainstream now and like everyone knows these songs. And I think I just feel like I connect more with the deeper cuts, but I also think that the reason why I don't like the mainstream ones as much anymore is because they were like the first ones I listened to, so I've totally overdone them after all these years. Like if Move Along comes on, it kills me to say it because that is the song that got me into them. I will skip it sometimes, but it's not because I don't like it. It's because I mean, dude, I've been listening to that since like 2006, I think, or like 2013 consistently. But every now and then, when it does come on, I'm like, you know what? Let me just take it back to when I was 6 years old, watching a Bionicles commercial. And I always love seeing those songs live. I might not listen to them as much, but seeing them live is always incredible.
The one thing about seeing them live, and we can maybe get into this on this episode, but like seeing the songs live, and you've been to like a bunch of different shows in different states and stuff like that, it's really cool to see which song connects. Is it Dirty Little Secret, or is it Move Along, or is it Gives You Hell? Because those are the 3 main songs. And to go off of your point, I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I'm the same way with Swing Swing, man. It's just, I've played that song so many times. I even think I said one time, which we'll get back to it. I'll link the Discord in the server so you guys can come talk to me and Moy. Like, come on, talk to us. Tell us what you think. But, like, I've said this several times. I wish I could go back to the first time I heard Swing Swing because it's a good song. That organ intro. It's the first song I learned on guitar, actually. So it's a good song, yeah. It's pretty easy to play, but it's a great song, too, at the same time. But like I said, though, when you go to their concerts, you want to see what song connects. And maybe I'll throw Gives You Hell out. But you want to see, is it Dirty Little Secret or is it Move Along? I feel like most of the concerts I've been to, actually, it was Move Along connecting the most, which I was actually surprised because I think Dirty Little Secret was a bigger hit. It was a lead single and all that. And it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting thing because maybe Gives You Hell actually is their biggest, obviously it's their biggest song. Yeah. It went like number 1 on pop radio, number 4 on Billboard mainstream. But I don't know. What do you think when you go to the concerts? What do you think is their biggest hitting song? Not necessarily like for you, you know what I mean? But for the crowd.
Like the vibes, yeah. I think you bring up a good point, and it's interesting because I think obviously they all hit, but in different ways. And like at the different shows that I've been to, like different ones stood out. I think what's funny about Dirty Little Secret, I think that one connects the most with like the girls in the crowd. I think all the girls, like you can hear all the girls screaming when when Dirty Little Secret plays. And then I think Move Along. I think Move Along hits really different because with Dirty Little Secret, like some of the guys in the crowd, they're like, "Oh, I'm not singing that song." But with Move Along, it's like I think it's the nostalgia, and then it's that part towards the end where it's just
like
the
the
piano
bridge,
and
and
Tyson. And you can hear the whole crowd singing that song.
Maybe at this point I'll like put in a little clip of that because, dude, and if you have a clip too, I'll put it in because, dude, that's the chef's kiss.
Yeah, dude, it is awesome, and I've made the mistake of like when I'm listening to that part like live, I'm like, let me just enjoy it. Like, I don't want to record. I just want to enjoy this part. And then I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I recorded that part. It's such an awesome part of the song. But I think what's also interesting about Dirty Little Secret is when they were opening with that for a while. So it was getting such a huge reaction, not only because it's Dirty Little Secret, but because like they're coming out and like you're so excited to see them. And so it's like the combination of, you know, they're starting with Dirty Little Secret, but they're also just coming out and you've been waiting however long to see them. So that would always like make it, you know, it was just really loud and like the fans were so into it. And then since they've changed the set list now kind of, with Swing Swing starting, I think Swing Swing is getting more of a reaction than it ever has because they're starting with it, which is cool. And obviously since it recently was trending on TikTok, which I actually forgot. So I think that elevated Swing Swing a lot. And then it gave Dirty Little Secret even more of a boost because now it's like there's a little more build up to it, which I hadn't experienced the first times I saw them because, you know, they were opening with it and there's no really build up to it. It's like, you know, like I think a lot of people who go like are almost there for Dirty Little Secret sometimes. So it's cool for them not to just get it out of the way first and then like add some build up to it. And I think it elevated Swing Swing too by putting it first.
And as I've said, like, it's crazy because like you're a newer fan and I'm an older fan, but we've seen them the same amount of times. So you raised a really good point. Like, I was actually going to bring that up. What do you think about that? Like, Dirty Little Secret used to be their opener, and now it's Swing Swing. I personally actually, and this may be a hot take, but I like Dirty Little Secret more as an opener. I think that when they're hiding it in the middle of the set list, I don't know, I don't really like it.
Yeah, I think I can go either way with it because I've seen both. I do think that starting with it's electric. Like the way you end the show with Gives You Hell is electric. It's like starting the show with the same energy that you're ending with. But I would say that putting it in the middle adds like, because I think for like the casual fans, who are there for like the big hits, I think putting it in the middle kind of elevates them because I think at the shows where they were playing it first, for casual fans, like the next couple of songs leading up to like Move Along, Gives You Hell, It Ends Tonight, they were kind of like, you know, because, you know, not every casual fan knows the songs in between. I mean, I was fucking singing my ass off during the deep cuts. But
were they doing it pretty much like a normal set list back then, though? It was like, because now they're doing Swing Swing, maybe Falling Apart, or My Paper Heart. But I think they were doing the same thing, weren't they? They would do like Dirty Little Secret, Falling Apart, or My Paper Heart. The only thing I do agree, and I'm sorry to interject, but
no.
Yeah, thank you, man. But I do love that they play "Stab My Back" after Dirty Little Secret because it's like you're listening to the album, man.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Is that the same order on the album?
Yeah. It's track 1, track 2, yeah.
Yeah, it is cool. And Stab My Back is one of those songs that I kind of forget about sometimes, but now that is cool because I think the only reason I forget about it is because like when I see them live, to me, I want to see more Kids in the Street songs. So when they do play Stab My Back, it's hype. I'm hyped that they're playing it, but I'm like, man, like throw a Kids in the Street song in there, you know?
they're just not, sadly. Like, what are they doing? Yeah. Like 2 Kids in the Street songs probably nowadays.
You're lucky.
Kids in the Street and Beekeepers maybe. You didn't even see Beekeepers, and we'll get in that like probably another podcast. But you went literally to the Wet Hot Summer tour, Wet Hot All American Summer tour twice, and then you didn't see Beekeepers out either time.
I went twice in hopes of um, hearing Beekeeper's Daughter, and I didn't, and I was very upset. But I did get to hear the last song on the second one.
Okay, I've
The
never
second.
seen the last song live, so you're lucky.
Yeah, that is an incredible song, and I think this might be like deeper cut knowledge. I think they might not be playing it for. I think like obviously Scotty knew the song, and he's not with the band anymore. We miss you so much, Scotty.
I know, I love
I'm
Scotty.
not sure. Maybe the new guy hasn't learned it yet. Don't want to talk out of my. That's not true.
There, yeah.
But I hope it's back on the set list because you deserve to hear it. It is an incredible song. I nearly cried when they sung it live.
When is the last time they played that? I don't know. What concerts did you go to? You went to New Jersey?
Philadelphia? I went to Philadelphia. That was like August 17th. And then I went to Bridgeport, Connecticut, which was August 19th. Yes, for everyone listening, I did go to 2 All-American Music shows.
I'm going to go see the set list. So, okay. When you went to Philadelphia, they played 14 songs.
Yeah, and they cut Sweat, and I was really mad about it.
So they didn't play Sweat. Yeah, that's a tough set list. And then when you went to Philadelphia, it looks like Connecticut. Sorry, Bridgeport. They played
Connecticut's set list was incredible.
They played 16 songs. Okay, I'm trying to compare them. It's hard to do this in real time, guys. I'm sorry. So when I went to Nashville. They played 16 songs, so I'm going to try to compare it to that. So, okay, they didn't play Falling Apart when I went, and that's the first time I feel like they didn't play it in a long time.
Yeah. I've heard Falling Apart so many times. I love that song. I love the bridge. I love the bridge, don't get me wrong, but I would have been okay if they swapped it out for Beekeeper's Daughter just because I haven't seen it live.
So when I went, they did play Beekeeper's Daughter, but they played it fourth. They played Swing Swing, My Paper Heart, One More Sad Song, Beekeepers, I Wanna, Dirty Little Secret, Stab My Back, Sweat, Kids in the Street, Mona Lisa, When the World Comes Down, There's a Place. Then they killed it with I'm Waiting. My first time I've ever seen I'm Waiting live. Oh my gosh, the outro to that song. Wow.
Yep.
The only crazy thing about I'm Waiting, which I love, I'm Waiting is one of my favorite songs. So is 11:11. But I'm Waiting is such a good song. The only thing that's crazy about that is that they played it between There's a Place and It Ends Tonight. Kind of a weird little bit of placement, but love I'm Waiting. I actually really love It Ends Tonight. And then they did Encore, Move Along, Gives You Hell. So they played 15 songs, actually. And apparently at your concert, they played the last song in Bridgeport.
Yep,
so they did play one more song. So they played the same set list, other than they didn't play Falling Apart at your show. They played Beekeeper's Daughter at mine. And then they played the last song.
Yeah, and that was also, this tour was also the first time I got to hear I'm Waiting. Actually, this tour was the first time I got to hear One More Sad Song.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, and my God, dude, I loved the saxophone solo. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
With Scotty doing the sax solo. And I think they extended the solo on the tour. I think they like kind of repeated it twice. I could be wrong, but it was just awesome to be able to hear that song and that solo. I've been waiting to hear that for so long. So that was my first time I heard One More Sad Song. Also, my first time hearing There's a Place, because I think at the previous shows they would like swap out between.
They would do Mona Lisa or There's a Place. Yep.
So this tour was the first time I got to hear There's a Place too, and it was awesome on the ukulele because this might be like a little too deep cut, but there was a video on YouTube way back in the day of Tyson playing at like some event. And he had his
band, was it?
Yeah, it was just him and his little ukulele, and he played There's a Place. And I don't know if that video is still on YouTube, but after hearing that version, I was like, oh, this is incredible. I would love to hear this live one day. Fast forward to like 10 years later. Not 10, but a couple years later. And we finally got to hear it with the ukulele. Also, my first time hearing I'm Waiting. And I had heard I'm Waiting from the Tornado.
Yeah.
And, dude, the outro, man. Incredible stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
with the build up to the outro, I couldn't even believe I was there, like
I know.
getting ready to listen to that. It was so awesome to hear.
Why did they
outro.
not leave that on the album? Is what I'm questioning.
Yeah, right. Like they should re-record "I'm Waiting" and put the outro in. And then it was funny that they played the last song and it wasn't last because they played the last song.
They played Move Along and Gives You Hell.
And then they left and then came back and played Move Along and Gives You Hell.
This might be a hot take, but I think that the last song or Move Along should actually be the last song. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that Gives You Hell. I love Gives You Hell a lot, and we've talked about this a lot. Like that's the ultimate karaoke song, but the song just takes so long to build up. So, I just feel like, I don't know, every time I've seen them play 5 times, you've seen them play 5 times, they probably played Gives You Hell, the last song for every time you've seen them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And same for me, other than that one time, because I don't think Gives You Hell was even out yet when I saw them play.
Right.
But when Gives You Hell comes on, it's such a good song. Everybody knows it because it's their biggest song, but the first minute and a half of that song is just like drums.
Yeah, and it's funny because even Mikey has talked about it, and he
said he's not even playing.
Yeah, he doesn't even. I feel like when they get to that point, like for Mikey and Nick, like it's like, yeah, we can like take a break for a minute because they've been like,
and Mike goes hard.
Yeah, Mike goes hard.
Even my friend who's never seen All American Rejects, he looks at him and we went to like me and him have been to 3 concerts. And he's not even really into the band, but he says that guy, he goes hard.
Yeah. It's so funny. My girlfriend literally said the same thing. She's like, that guy on the right with the long hair, he really goes crazy. I'm like, you don't even know the half of it.
You don't know about Mike Kennedy.
You don't know the Mike Kennedy lore.
The lore is deep. Good guy. I can't believe you've seen the last song live, though. That is really good.
It is a great song live. I had seen it on so many YouTube videos, and to finally be able to witness it front row too, it was incredible. There's just, and it was sad because not a lot of people know that song. But
really? You think that? Maybe the casual people, yeah. I
think the casuals, but
was it even a single? Yeah, I think it was the last single, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the energy it brought was incredible because,
dude,
I was obviously really excited because I'd never heard it, but just the energy in that song, like, it is incredible, and I think it captures a kind of energy that not a lot of their songs do. Where
I think
it's
they
just
should
like,
close every show with that.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Even if it was like smaller shows where like everybody would know it, I think it'd be awesome to close with that song. Sorry.
I'd be even like fine with like what they did to You, like they fake close with it and then they come out for an encore.
Yeah, like any show where the last song is played, I don't care if they play it first, bro. I would that song needs to be on the set list.
I get that it's like one of their longest songs, but it's not. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long. But dude, great freaking song. Oh my gosh, I love the last song.
So underrated.
I think it's one of their best songs, and like a lot of people say that actually, which we're not going to get to on this episode because that's a whole nother story talking about the Reddit.
Yeah.
But the Reddit loves the last song.
I haven't checked it out recently. I gotta look into that.
The Reddit, the Pop Punkers Reddit, that they hate AR, but they love the last song.
Oh yeah, they love to shit on our favorite band, but I won't stand for it.
I won't stand for it either. But hey, guys, this was the Rejects Rewind. We're gonna sign out today. We will link our fan accounts in the description. But go ahead and tell about yourself again real quick. Just tell your links and stuff, and then we'll sign out.
Yeah, sure. So reminder, I'm Moy. Late bloomer when it comes to being a fan of the All American Rejects, but as you can see, it doesn't really show because I know like too much about them now. But anyways, my fan account is the Rejects Now More Than Ever fan page, FP. There's some underscores in there somewhere.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Okay, you are going to bully me into changing that name. But yeah, so feel free to check out that fan account. Fun fact, on this day, whatever today's date is, Tyson Ritter did actually repost the video. Had to throw that one in there, sorry. So yes, definitely check that fan account out because if Tyson is reposting my stuff, then it shows that I have good content.
Yeah.
That's my outro.
And if Tyson is listening to this, or if he's reposting you, he should be listening to this. So
Please.
I am When We Were Kids in the Street. Tyson did tweet me one time and said that Fast and Slow should be a single. But
You're right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. But we're signing out, guys. We will have an episode maybe next week. We're going to try to do these pretty often, right? You think?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, we are an hour apart, difference-wise, which I'm realizing is making things like 1 hour does make a difference, for me at least.
A lot more than you'd think.
Yeah, and my schedule is like whack, but I'm glad that we got the opportunity to do this and get this started. And we should be putting stuff out. You guys should be in for a real treat. We'll be doing song reviews, album reviews.
We got a lot more coming.
Yeah, way more than you guys think.
Hey, next episode, we're going to review the first half of the first album. So we're going to do the self-titled all the way up until One More Sad Song. We're going to review every song, guys. Look forward to this. We're going to be posting it on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. I don't even know. I don't have Apple. You probably have an iPhone because you're one of those guys. But I'm not an iPhone guy. So it's going to be on Apple. What is it? Apple Podcasts? I don't know what it's called. Tell me.
Honestly, I don't even listen to podcasts, so I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
We're going to listen to this podcast, though. So Spotify, YouTube, it'll be on the AAR Stuff channel. It's my channel, but me and Moy, we're going to be posting clips on our fan pages.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks for listening, guys. Whoever listened.
if one listener, they're the biggest fan. Thank you guys for listening to the Rejects Rewind. See you next week.